What's up guys, go back to a review and with CinemaCon that's happening this week. And first, if those of you who don't know what CinemaCon is, it's basically a convention where many theater owners inside of the theater industry who gather up and they feature and showcase some of their upcoming stuff, some that is in the works or in production, and plus announcing stuff as well. And last night Sony held their panel revealing so many announcements, things that are in the works, in productions and things like that. So in this video, this will be about a full breakdown of everything that happened in the Sony panel and stuff on the Sony Marvel side as well. It will include announcements, things that are in the works, in productions, and much more. And plus, I will include the timestamps in the description of this video if you guys want to skip around to see what kind of topics interest you during the Sony and Marvel panel. But if you're new here and you enjoy stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on videos like this in the future. So let's get into it. And so, right off the bat, it was announced by Sony that Venom 3 is now in the works, and now with a third of the Venom film that now in the works, and plus spoilers, if you haven't seen Venom at the pre-carnage, it's Spider-Man No Way Home post-credit scene, and then Venom at the pre-carnage post-credit scene, we saw Eddie and the Venom being transported into the MCU, and then they saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man on the TV on the Daily Bugle, and then in Spider-Man No Way Home post-credit scene, we saw Eddie Brock there, and Venom, and with Eddie Brock, he said he wanted to confront Spider-Man, plus with the Tom Holland Spider-Man in the MCU, he was framed for murder after after killing the Mysterio, and then that with him wanted to confront Spider-Man, but with the Doctor Strange spell at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, it was supposed to send everyone home, which I have here with Eddie and Venom being transported back into their own universe as well, and plus with Eddie and Venom wanting to confront Spider-Man, this makes a perfect chance for Spider-Man versus the Venom fight in Venom 3 with Spider-Man and Venom meeting up with each other. And also it makes it the perfect opportunity for Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be donning the black symbiote suit, or probably in a Venom 3 or in the next MCU Spider-Man trilogy. And now moving on to a Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse Part 2, and now with this, it was announced by Sony, and then now that Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse Part 2 is no longer that, it's now being labeled entitled Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and now with this being labeled Beyond the Spider-Verse, with the second movie being labeled Across the Spider-Verse, but it's no longer labeled, and now with Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, and now being labeled Beyond the Spider-Verse, it's kind of so now with Across the Spider-Verse Parts 1 and 2, it can all be labeled just Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse. So we're gonna have a 3 Spider-Verse movie franchises with Miles Morales as well. And I'm glad that they're going with this. And plus, with the 2 movies being delayed until next year, 2023, but the people behind this movie can take their time with these 2 movies, got all the VFX and making sure it's appropriate and plus and not rushed. And now moving on to Across the Spider-Verse, as Sony screened the first 15 minutes of Across the Spider-Verse to many critics, and now that we have a full description as to what people saw in those first 15 minutes, and plus with the first 15 minutes of Across the Spider-Verse screen for people at CinemaCon, and now we got a description of what those first 15 minutes are like. I had to issue a spoiler warning, so we don't want anything spoiled for Across the Spider-Verse, or if you want to go in this movie with an open mind and know nothing about I should just cloud this video now and while you're spoiled by the description. And with this description, it says it opens on a safe way with Vulture and Spider-Gwen's universe, and then she is then joined by Oscar Isaac, Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, and Jessica Drew, who's 5 months pregnant, and kicking butt as well. In this description, with the word of Vulture and Spider-Gwen's universe, we expect many fights to go down, especially with Across the Spider-Verse. We expecting a lot to be going down, especially with the fact that this is a Vulture in the description, and plus spoilers if you haven't seen the Morbius post-credit scene. We saw Ultra being transported from the MCU into Morbius' universe, aka the Venomverse, and now with a Vulture fighting Spider-Gwen and her universe, we expect a lot of stuff to go down, especially with a Ultra now in the Sony Spider-Man universe. Plus, when these first 15 minutes the people were shown, it sounds like with Across the Spider-Verse, it's going to be a fun animated film, which is to be exploring the multiverse. And on top of that it also teased that with Across the Spider-Verse, it's supposed to be way bigger than the first one, as in with this movie, it takes place across like six different universes, and plus within Into the Spider-Verse, it had 40 characters, but now in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it's supposed to have like more than that, around like 240 characters, and plus with that, like with Across the Spider-Verse, it would be on the Spider-Verse, we're like expecting like a lot to go down, and plus then they might even like on top of that on some more characters, especially for maybe on the Spider-Verse, but yeah, and with Across the Spider-Verse, it's going to be a big and epic film as well. And now moving on to Kraven the Hunter, like people were like shown at least a little snippet of the Kraven the Hunter solo film, and plus, even though Kraven the Hunter is currently filming right now in London, and they were shown a little snippet of the film, and plus what they were shown is that we have a description, and it shows a Kraven on top of a car and punching a windshield, and plus this kind of relates to one of the set photos that we saw like when Kraven the Hunter was filming back in London, and then it shows a Kraven in the snow, and plus with the Kraven the Hunter solo film, this is one of Spider-Man's villains, and plus now with it, I'm very excited for the Kraven the Hunter film, and plus they were shown a snippet, even though it's currently filming right now, at least we got like something that they were shown, especially for the Kraven the Hunter film, but we'll find out more once they start filming, plus we got more information on that with Kraven the Hunter. And then it was also announced that another Spider-Man spin-off film is now in the works, which is labeled El Muerto, a Spider-Man spin-off, which is going to be played by Robert Bad Bunny. And plus, with the El Muerto in the comics, especially like a superpower wrestler, as the abilities to be passed on to generations, as well as Spider-Man's villains, and who also wrestles Spider-Man as well. So we expect a lot to go down, especially with a lot of like Spider-Man villains kind of getting those spin-off films. As for me, I can definitely see like Spider-Man like fighting off against El Muerto in the wrestling ring. And now with this, we don't know if this is going to be animated or in live action, and plus we can definitely assume that this is going to be in animation or in live action as well, because with El Muerto in comics, he wrestles Spider-Man in the comics, and I can't wait to see that, you know, go down with like Spider-Man like fighting against El Muerto, who's like a wrestler. Plus, we all expected the announcement of Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 3 and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4, but I think we all know, I think that's not happening though at any time soon, even though it might happen in the near future, but I'm pretty sure it won't happen, but we'll see what happens though from there. And then the last one is with the Ghostbusters sequel, and on top of that, Sony has announced that a Ghostbusters sequel is now in the works. It's continuing after the events of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and spoilers if you haven't seen like Ghostbusters Afterlife, we saw the kids using Ghostbusters technology to get rid of the demon with the help of the original Ghostbusters, and plus in one of its post-credit scenes, it's teasing that as something is coming, so we'll definitely see that probably in the next Ghostbusters film, but we'll have information on that story, plus with all casting and everything. And yeah, when these announcements are happening at the Sony and panel and on the Marvel side as well, we can definitely assume that like stuff is in the works or like currently in production right now. And plus, I mean, I'm very excited for what they have in store and like on the Sony panel and on the Marvel side as well. And plus, with the CinemaCon happening all this week, I'll try to cover as much as possible. And with tonight, it's a Warner Brothers panel as well, so we can definitely expect to see some footage, probably from Black Adam and Shazam 2 as well. So that's gonna be it for this video. Love your thoughts, comments down below, and what are your thoughts on these other cool announcements and projects or things in the works on the Sony from the Sony panel and on the Marvel side as well. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for future videos. Anything from my Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.